Hello, you're welcome to What the Papers Are Saying. My name is Vivian Kyle. Thank you for joining us for another edition. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take you through the big stories. I'll introduce my guest and we'll take it away. Welcome back to What the Papers Are Saying. My name is Vivian Kyle. Let me take you through the big stories for this week, and you're watching the Election Bureau. So we'll start with the fight against illegal mining, which has been running for some weeks. Different institutions, CSOs, have joined the fight against illegal mining and have sent statements on what they think government should do to combat this menace. So let's start with the Ghanaian Times and see their angle for this week. They say illegal mining menace, government orders action against Galamsey, pushes regional ministers Resex to intensify enforcement efforts nationwide. Organized Labor Association, CSOs joint call to combat illegal mining. So these are some of the stories with the Ghanaian Times. We move to the Chronicle. They say small-scale miners reject calls to ban mining. The Business Analysts declare state of emergency media coalition against Galamsey to Akufo-Addo. CityNewsroom.com, Galamsey declaring state of emergency draconian and far-reaching. There's a Lands Minister speaking over there. We still stay with City Newsroom because they have another angle to this story, which is a Galamsey one. They say, Galamsey, resign over your ill-informed draconian comment. Federation of Labour to Jinapo. And then finally on this story, ChannelOneNews.com says 19 apostolic fathers call for temporary Galamsey ban. So these are some of the stories around this running story to do with illegal mining, otherwise called Galamsey here in Ghana. We move away from that. We go to the story to do with Pius Adjise, who has been making some promises to his constituents if he wins the 2024 general elections. What has he been saying? The New Finder says Pius Adjise promises a Sojaman constituency voters USA trip for 2026 World Cup. Daybreak says Pius Adjise defends World Cup promise. ChannelOneNews.com, NDC will reopen visa scandal and prosecute Pius Ni Lante Vanderpoy speaking over there. And finally, with that story, CityNewsroom.com, NDC calls for dismissal of NYA CEO Pius Adjise over controversial World Cup pledge. So those are some of the stories to do with that. We move to election-related matters proper, and let's see the latest around the elections as we prepare for it in December. The Ghanaian Times says the race for Jubilee House by Mian Mahama others filed nominations to contest December 2024 presidential poll. Daily Graphic says EC must act with impartiality. President Akufo-Addo speaking over there. And then CityNewsroom.com, election 2024, don't announce election results ahead of EC Kodeo to media. ChannelOneNews.com, Channel One TV and City FM launch coverage for 2024 general elections. So those are some of the stories around the elections. Let's wrap up and then go to CAF on the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. And the New Finder says CAF bans Baba Yara Sports Stadium for Black Stars matches. ChannelOneNews.com, CAF withdraws approval for Baba Yara Sports Stadium. We'll wrap up with that. And CitySportsOnline.com, Sports Minister directs GFA to request CAF to inspect Legon Stadium for Black Stars game. So those are some of the stories, the big stories for this week. I'll be right back, introduce my guests, and then we start. Welcome back to what the papers are saying. Let me introduce to you my guests for today's discussions. I have with me Sami Wiafe, who is here with us at ChannelOne TV as well as City FM 97.3 FM. Sami, welcome.
Hello, Vivian. Good evening.
Good evening to you. And then we have our returning very good friend, who we've not seen him in a bit, Elvis Dako, but he's coming with a new designation and some good news. Managing editor for News Center, his new baby.
Yes.
I'll give you a minute to tell us about this. This is a newspaper as well as an online portal, right?
Yes, using the same name. The News Center and the News Center newspaper is the same.
So it comes daily, the paper, newspaper?
The paper is on Mondays and Wednesdays as a starter.
All right.
We want to do twice a week for now to the end of the year.
Okay.
And hopefully next year expand operations, and probably by the end of next year we should be doing a daily newspaper. That is our plan for now.
Okay,
but from now to December, you get us on the newsstands Mondays and Wednesdays. Yes,
okay. And this is covering everything.
It's covering everything.
Business,
covering
sports,
everything. Yeah, everything is covered.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Sami and I will want more of the money when it comes.
Don't worry.
Remember us.
Say, it's a new business now. We are only investing. Maybe 5 years time, the money will start coming.
Oh, how are we those by then? 5 years time.
Thank you. So bring some investment, then we'll put in the business.
You hear from our managers.
So when the money start coming, we start to share small. But for now, we need investment.
Don't worry, you hear from our managers. But Elvis, well done. Congratulations. We're happy and proud of you. So, gentlemen, I want us to start with the fight against illegal mining. It's a big issue. The discussion has been running for a while, and discussions around it has intensified because the issues are getting worse and it's becoming much more difficult for government to solve the problem. I'm going to look at some of the angles that we've seen this week around this story. Today, which is Thursday, 19 Apostolic Fathers released a statement on it calling for a temporary ban. Let me start with you, Sami. That's one of the big angles we are seeing today. We are also seeing the Federation of Labour and many unions saying that there should be a state of emergency, or the minister in charge should resign. Also, they believe that his statement saying that an emergency is a draconian one and far-reaching should even lead him to resign, among many other things. So these developments that we've seen, the churches are now in, Labour is in, threatening to strike, hold a series of demonstrations. You are close to the president. Is he feeling the heat?
He's very much feeling it. In the coming days, he will make a public statement on the Galamsey fight and the next level that the government intends to take it. I'm very much aware that yesterday there was a National Security Council meeting where this issue was the main topic for discussion. And he's announced, or he's in the coming days going to announce some measures the government intends to take to address this issue of Galamsey again. If you remember yesterday, the Minister for Lands also issued a statement where he has met all regional ministers, all 16 regional ministers, even areas where there's Galamsey or no Galamsey, to see how they can.
Greater Accra,
they all met. They are all 16 regional ministers. Summoned to Accra for a meeting, including the security heads. That was after the national security meeting with the president. And a clear instruction was given to activate the next phase of the fight in this.
Which is what? Because people say that all the so-called activations
so I'm reliably informed that in the president's address, these measures will be announced, the next phase of it. But then instructions have been given that the current setup, the use of the regional task force and the regional security council in all this should still be used in this whole fight again. But then the president will announce the enhanced measures in the public address that we should expect in the coming days. And so for him, he's worried. The whole government is worried about it. But they are also careful that it's an election year also. So they are being careful how they are going to manage this whole Galamsey crisis. That's what I'll put it, Galamsey crisis, one way or the other. Well, Vivian, I am excited that Ghanaians are talking about it now. Remember when we started the campaign in 2017, I guess, if we had everybody talking about it at that time, I'm not sure we'll be where we will not be here where we are now. Because when we started the campaign, yes, it went on well. Government declared Operation Vanguard here and there, but then people were still not talking. We didn't hear much of the religious leaders. We didn't hear much about the civil society groups. But now they've all realized that it's becoming a threat to our survival as Ghanaians and as a people. And so if they don't rise up, I'm very happy now the church leaders are talking about it too. Because they have influence in Ghana. Yeah. If you take the government official, the next people who have influence in Ghana are the church leaders. We all go to church. Yeah. We listen to what our pastors tell us. Yeah. So if they are also getting involved, we should be happy about it. But in all this, is it just a mere statement they are issuing?
They say there should be a temporary ban.
Yes, I'm going to come to that. Okay. Is it a mere statement making demands of governments or officialdom on how to address this particular issue? And what if the person you are making the demand towards is adamant, is not listening to it? Now we have heard organized labor announce a nationwide strike if something is not done about this situation. Fair enough, we know how strong organized labor is. Organized labor stopped a sale of a hotel.
They did that. I'm sure this should work.
I agree with them, and we all support it. If they say we shouldn't come to work for 1 week, we all stay home. We all stay away from work for a whole week to drum home the need for something to be done about it. But Vivian, as a country and as a government, there have been a series of actions to address this. Yeah. It started with Operation Vanguard, and then Operation Vanguard 2 or second or so. You know, we had accusations that even the military men or the security personnel we put on these operations go to the bush, and instead of going to arrest these Galamsey people or whatever, they rather collect money from them, and then they leave, you know, them to do their operations. If the measures that the president is going to announce is not going to be different than what we have now, then we have failed. We expect far-reaching measures that will end this whole thing. And I've always said this to my colleagues in the newsroom, and I know a lot of people will disagree with it, but then after you disagree with me and you attack me, just think about it thoroughly. I've always said to my colleagues in the newsroom that, Vivian, we need to adopt the shoot-to-kill approach.
You think that will work?
Let me make my argument. That's what I was saying. I know people will disagree with me, but let me push my case through. Now, the people engaged in Galamsey are killing us. If not now, in future, they are killing us. We are told that the Ghana Water Company says that if care is not taken, there will be no water to drink in this country. And that is a national security threat. Yeah. Water is life. Yeah. Whether we like it or not, water is life. And if there's a country without water, why are we living then? What will we drink? The water 10 Milo? That's what we are going to drink. We are told how these Galamseyers are discharging mercury and other harmful chemicals into the water that Ghana Water Company processes to come into our homes. And we are told that by the Pediatric Society, how children are being born with deformities because of the practice of Galamsey in mining communities, and by extension, which will affect all of us.
And the food we eat.
And the food we eat. I have kids.
Our farmers.
And I fear for the future. We all fear what's going to happen to our children one way or the other. Now, if these people, because of greed and money, do not think about us, and they still want to pursue their trade and kill us at the end of the day, then let's kill them first before they kill us. Now we have the Special Force, a very specialized wing of the Ghana Armed Forces, well-trained, knows operation, everything. My proposal, which people will disagree, that's what I said earlier, but I'll still make it. Can't we send these forces or these armed men into the forest where this Galamsey is conducted? Conduct an operation, kill everybody on board, because the people doing Galamsey are killing us indirectly. So we kill them first. Now, if there's a first operation, we go this operation, kill them. The next operation, we'll go and kill them. I'm not sure they will want to come back and still trade or do their Galamsey. Because the special forces who are even going to the bush there are also under threat because they also, one way or the other, will drink from the waters. We are all Ghanaians, we will suffer from it. I give you a classic example. In Nigeria, we knew of how Boko Haram was threatening everybody in that space. Now a new government comes and there's a new operation. The army in Nigeria is war armed now with drones and those things. I read an article on BBC how the Nigerian army has started an operation. Now what I read was that they gave the insurgents some grace period to either surrender or be killed. Only a few surrendered. The rest decided not to surrender. So these Nigeria forces now go into the bushes where these Boko Haram people operate with drones and the rest, and then they leave airstrikes there, and they are killing quite a number of people. In recent times, I've not heard Boko Haram cause major harm or major killings in Nigeria than we used to hear years ago. Even though it is still there, it has reduced. If we adopt,
but we cannot compare the two issues.
It's all criminal. Galamsey is crime.
Videos of people embarking on Galamsey in Ghana who are children.
Yes.
You can't go there killing these people.
I agree.
These are innocent people.
I agree, Vivian.
There are the big fishes who are behind these things.
Vivian,
these are the people we need to get.
If I have a consignment, assume I'm in a big, I have a consignment, I've sent these boys or girls there, and they are killed. I send the next batch. It happens to them. Will I be able? They
are innocent people. Quote unquote.
When you stop those operating, the business will collapse.
No, if they cared about these people, these children,
that is what I'm saying. They don't care because of greed.
Exactly. So they wouldn't care if you kill them.
You not get men and women to deploy again. Then the business will collapse. Our water bodies will go back to their normal stature.
So I mean, they'll get more innocent people. They will just increase the amount of money they offer.
Vivian,
that's what it is.
Let's try it.
I'm not sure the shoot and kill thing
Let's
will
try
work,
it.
But so you believe? I think that the minister has said no. They won't do that.
Vivian, we have tried every method that.
Have we? I'm not sure. I'm not sure authorities have done what is expected of them in stopping this Galamsey thing.
Very well.
So I'm not sure we have ticked all the boxes. So we tick the boxes. The authorities in charge, all the ministries in charge, including the security forces, do what is expected of them, and people are still doing what is not expected of them. Then we can get to the point. But we are at the point where just across the street from some of these municipalities, there's mining going on, and they close their eyes.
Definitely,
even they are not doing their job.
Behind police stations.
Exactly, they are not doing their job.
So you don't deploy those officers there because they are involved. They are
compromised.
Hands, neck, ears,
so
everything is involved. So you don't use those officers. Bring officers from other, and they strike. And you know our army. Obey before complaining.
No, you see, we get it wrong with this army
go and
thing.
do this operation.
There were cases where people from the military were compromised.
Vivian.
So I'm not sure it's the army that can solve this problem. And
it's not just a crime, it's murder.
It's a crime. How many people have we arrested?
The Attorney General at the last Ghana Bar, the Ghana Bar Conference?
Ghana Bar Conference
says over 800 people are standing trial.
There are thousands of people who are engaging in this illegal act.
But
how many have we arrested?
We can't also sit down and watch only 2,000 or 3,000 people kill over 30 million or 33 million of us.
But that's my point. I'm saying that there's supposed to be people arrested for them to be prosecuted.
Yes.
Have we arrested these people?
Per the report Attorney General gave, and the statistics and
you
figures
and I have
gave.
been going to these Galamsey areas. We have reporters.
We
all know
we
that,
all see what's
it
happening.
it's not what
but
it
Vivian,
is.
if we adopt this shoot to kill, I am betting my life on this, that it will, if you will not stop it at all, it will reduce it.
Okay.
Ghanaians fear death though.
Okay.
Oh, they fear death.
You made your point. Let me bring in Elvis, whether he agrees with this shoot to kill. Anyway.
He's a human rights journalist.
Elvis, so the minister in charge of land says they would not declare a state of emergency because he believes it's draconian, it's far-reaching. This shoot and kill is, of course, against it, and many, many things. But we've seen a lot of institutions, labor, CSOs, all that getting on board, even the apostolic fathers coming in as well, about 15 churches, big churches, saying, no, it's time for us to declare a state of emergency or even temporarily ban illegal mining. Is that the way to go? Would this work at all? Or that's it, we're gone?
We want to fight illegal mining, okay?
Yes. Can we do it? Is it possible?
We are not the first to fight it, we will not be the last to fight it.
Mm-hmm.
So the question I'm asking is, all the people are calling ban this thing, they're not giving me any example from any country that those proposals.
Do we need a country to as an example before we ban?
Unless you tell me that Galamsey is only in Ghana.
It's not.
So you should know that you are not the only person facing it. Mm-hmm. So if you want me to fight it and succeed, you should point your example to countries that have deployed the methods you are using and it's successful. Mm-hmm. Then I tell me that you are giving me a good example. Mm-hmm. But
you could be a first.
No, it cannot be a first.
Oh, why not?
Because what they are saying, all the proposal that they put on the board has happened in other countries that has not worked. If you talk about the army, our army is not more sophisticated than the French army. Mm-hmm. But the French army went to the Guyanese, they could not fight it.
Because the Guyanese people knew the system.
No, it's the French. It's a French colony. And
yes.
I'm saying that our armed forces.
You don't know the country more than
I'm telling you
its
that our armed
indigenous.
forces is not well trained better than the French army. Mm-hmm. They are not more equipped than the French army.
More sophisticated.
They are not more sophisticated than the French army. Mm-hmm. So when the French deployed army and it has not worked, you can't tell me that the Ghana armed forces is more than the French army and they work. You see, when we want to solve problems, this knee-jerk approach that we are all shouting, that's why we are not having a solution. See, Akufo-Addo came to government and banned illegal Galamsey for 2 years. What happened? The 2 years of ban, that's why we're even seeing more pollution of the water bodies. So you see, let's be realistic. I'm saying that, let's be realistic about this thing, okay? And then when we begin to fight this thing realistically.
What's your idea of a realistic
But these things that we are talking about, most of them, they are just easy to say. But nobody is able to convince me that country A or B. Look, Peru did one of the most difficult, one of the crackdown on illegal money. You said that it's one of the things that anybody talk about in the world. And that time everybody said Peru is like the winning the war. It took them only 2 years. They couldn't. The illegal money is now worse than before they were fighting it for the 2 years.
Well, what did they put in place?
90% of all small-scale miners are illegal.
In Peru?
In Peru. They deployed the entire army for 2 years. They said they have succeeded in crackdown. After 2 years, the government realized that even the resources to put the army there was no longer there. They are back.
It was a matter of resources.
That is the point. So you see, when people are making proposals, they should know that, as I'm saying, see, don't let's pretend like we are an Ethiopian country. Ghana is the only one that's having Galamsey. We want to fight it and we have the solution. It's not true. We will be fighting Galamsey for the next 100 years and we will not stop it. Galamsey, we'll be fighting for the next 100 years. We will be fighting for the next 100 years.
So what do you think is a realistic solution?
Look, so far, nobody's proposal has not been done in any other country. Whatever people have proposed have done in many other countries in the world and they have all failed. In the first year, so we are succeeding. After 1.5 years, 2 years, they realize that it is not winnable with force. So if we have looked at the example of several countries around the world, and they have even gone more brutal than us, and yet today, the record shows that it is zero fight. They are back to this. We should all be thinking and saying, so if this and this have not worked in those countries, how are you convincing that it's going to work in Ghana? We have to be very realistic about things. And then when we are approaching these things realistically, then we know that we are approaching realistically. See, cocaine is a criminal offense around the world. Europe and America have some of the most sophisticated investigative bodies. Google right now and find out the quantity of cocaine that has entered the US and Europe this year alone. You ask yourself, with all the sophistication and everything, that they say cocaine is legal, they have CIA, BNI, MI16, whatever, they are fighting, they want to stop it. Why are they not able to stop it? Because it is an industry that has a lot of money. So even if you are shooting somebody there, tomorrow somebody is going. There's money there. That is what it is. So we should rather sit down, reflect, and say, look, Akufo-Addo has come to ban this for 2 years. After 2 years, so only legal one will be accepted. The time 2 years that the ban was going, people were in the bushes doing Galamsey. So you see, I went to Central Region last weekend. I got to Accra Monday morning. Look, Galamsey, as we are talking about, if anybody sits at Accra here and is shouting, what I have observed is that the fight is between those of us who don't have Galamsey in our communities versus those who communities have Galamsey. Because when you go to the communities with the Galamsey, every economic activity now revolves around Galamsey.
We just saw videos this week of communities in the eastern region
where
the chiefs and the people were fighting against the Galamsey in their communities. So it's not really the case of
that is,
without fighting.
That is why. So why I didn't know able to win? If the community people are fighting, why can't they be?
They stopped them. They stopped all the Galamsey people from operating. Eastern region.
Which part of Eastern region?
I'll get the name. Our reporter brought the story. Just
they are one of the worst Galamsey situations in Ghana.
Yes, the communities are now fighting the Galamsey people.
That is
enough is enough. Go away.
Until the communities themselves says we will not allow this, forget it. No amount of security deployment will solve it. Because you see, when I went to Central Region, I was shocked. You see, those days that some of us were going out there to write about Galamsey, well, like over 10 years ago, when Wakam and Co started this fight about mining, and those days, Galamsey is done in the forest where you don't even know that people are there. And then somebody gives you a tip of that some people are doing Galamsey in this forest and you go there. I went to Central Region.
It's Swom, that's the name of the area.
And the Galamsey is not done in the forest anymore. It's been done in the town, in the community. Behind the last building, the community, Galamseyers are working. And everybody is seeing it. And everybody says it brings money. You are in the car driving, and by the entire route, the stretch we're driving, okay, the entire road, left and right, the machines were working, and they were doing Galamsey. They brought daylight. So you see, how can security fight this thing and win if the people in the communities are not the ones who are standing against it? So I have said that, look, I have realized that we've sat in a client and planned crackdown on Galamsey, and it hasn't worked. Go to the communities, okay? First of all, let them understand that, yes, gold brings money, and nobody will doubt that.
You want us to educate and edge, which is something that has been done. You didn't yield any results.
Who has gone to do it?
There are a lot of education.
Who has done it?
The authorities were doing
which authorities?
Before the ban, the 2017 ban, that was done.
I ask you where you are not telling me.
Most of the communities.
See, the problem is, what kind of education have you done? I have said, go there, tell them, meet the community, tell them, they say, we know this thing brings money, and that's why we are all for it. But do you know something? You will chop the money for the next 10 years. But after 10 years, the gold may not be in the land anymore. But look at, these are all the negative consequences that this thing is going to bring to you. Okay?
They know this.
When you educate them and let them understand the land is theirs. They cannot relocate from their land in Central to my village in Volta. I will not accept them. So they can't come to my land. So until they protect their land, they have nowhere to go to. Okay? And let the people begin to envisage. See, right now, they are focused on the immediate benefit of what is coming. That economic activity around it. But if you ask many people in the community whether they know that in 10 years' time, people may have diseases that will not be curable, many of them will tell they are not aware. Because they'll give you the example that they have been doing small-scale mining for the past 100 years. And what you are talking about, they have not seen it. So what are you saying? But you have to explain that when they were doing small-scale mining in those days, they were using hoe and pickers. They were not using mercury and coal and other chemicals that they are using today. They were not doing the waters that people drink. And that Galamsey has evolved from the one they know, which has not brought this consequence. But the one we are doing now, that we are putting chemicals and all this in the waters, the damages will be different from that, the one we have been doing for the past 80 or 90 years. Let people begin to see that, okay, what we were doing in the past is not as harmful as what we are doing now. Because you have to say, but we are doing Galamsey in this community for the past 100, what you are saying they have never happened, so when will it happen? It's because they don't understand that those times, they were not doing what we are doing today. And therefore now, Galamsey has moved from they gather them and sell small quantity to now machines that are polluted with chemicals that they are pouring in our water.
But they are the same people putting in those chemicals.
That's
They are the same. So
that's what
I'm doing the thing. I'm telling you to come and tell you that you are
No.
doing
That's what I'm telling you, that when
doing.
you educate, when the community, what happens is maybe half the young people and the rest are into the Galamsey.
Yeah.
People who have stores and co are not in Galamsey. But they're also happy that the young boys come in with money.
Yes,
and they come
some
and
of them
buy.
are their children.
Yeah, they come and buy their things, and now their business is booming. Where I went to, they are selling a ball of Banku fives, just like the same size in Accra. This is far away in Central Region. And I asked them, now we don't grow maize here, we bring the maize from other communities because the land is being used for gold mining. But the people who are doing it, they have the money to buy it, so the price is not a problem. You see the mindset they have. The fact that the price have gone up is not their problem. The boys go to Galamsey, they bring a lot of money, so they are able to buy it. So for them, they are okay. Their business is also growing. So you can clearly see that what you and I are sitting here talking about, the effect that the chemicals they are in the road could have on their lives in the next 5 years is actually not even part of their mind. Because they see Galamsey that has been doing with hoe and cutlasses for so many, and nobody has suffered those things. So until you begin to let them understand that we have progressed beyond that, and that the kind of things we are doing with Galamsey now, we will have these problems. After the education, and you get them to understand, look, security cannot win this war on their own.
And
unless you, the community people,
Listen,
for how long?
And how do you educate someone who is benefiting from the system?
No.
And who knows what he's doing is wrong, but
don't.
it's just
Please,
bent on making money.
let me tell you. I'm telling you. When you do that, you let them understand that no matter what we do, if we rely on security that they will come and fight you, we should forget it.
You use the issue about cocaine in your premise.
Yes.
The drug people don't know the dangers around
they know.
cocaine to their
They
health.
don't take it.
And they will listen
No.
to
The drug
advice.
situation is about the money, but the drug, they are pushing it to other people.
Exactly.
They are not pushing
people behind these
They are
things
not pushing.
are not in the
Yes,
thing.
listen.
They sit back and
You are
invest.
confusing that the drug has man. That's why difficult to fight. But drug is not sold
Gold
in the
has
community
money.
where they produce the drugs. They are not consuming it largely. They export it to countries that have money. But for us, we are selling the gold, but we are consuming water that will kill us. It's different from the drugs.
Yes, I'm saying that
so
the person who is mining this thing, right, has somebody behind him who is supporting.
Forget
about
about that.
So this person is sitting in Accra or wherever, has invested in a champagne and is sitting somewhere.
Listen.
Some
The
of
problem
these
we are
people
having is
even foreigners.
I understand.
Who don't care about your
Galamsey, let me tell you, Galamsey has gone beyond only the financiers. See, I say go to the community and talk to the people. There are big concessions that are owned by financiers. But what I'm telling you that I've seen, it's not big concession. Somebody is behind his house. There's a small and he himself is doing it. It's not from.
And he doesn't care about your education.
No, that's what I'm telling you. No, I'm addressing your issue of thinking that it's only done by sponsored by people who have money.
Of it.
The people who have money who are sponsoring Galamsey, they do large sites. But now the Galamsey is no longer only about large sites. It's about if I have 1 acre of land, that is for me. Maybe I from my family, they share the land for us to farm. And I have 1 acre, that's mine. It's not somebody who is asking me to go and dig it. I am digging it and making the money because it's my land.
That's fine. That 1 acre person knows about the risks involved in using those chemicals.
No.
Don't undermine their level of thinking.
No.
They know about
this is where we are getting it wrong.
It's about the money.
No. This is where we are getting it wrong. We are seeing that
before the 2017 ban, there were education all over.
No, I'm telling you that
the era of education has gone.
This is the problem. That's why we can't fight Galamsey. Those of you who made up your mind that the era of education is gone, is the problem we are having. I have interacted with everyone I went there. And when you begin to talk to some people, they don't even understand that what we are saying is real. They don't know it. See, we are assuming that everybody in Galamsey knows that mercury in water will create a problem. Lots of them don't even understand it. You are sitting here, that's what I'm saying, that our solutions are Accra-based. Our solutions are not the community we are doing Galamsey-based. And we think that once we deploy force, I'm making the point that force will not work because it has not worked anywhere in the world. Okay. Force. Every country that has
suffered. What timeline should we give ourselves as a country to educate?
Please.
What timeline should we give ourselves?
If we have a plan, that's why we have a district assembly. We have decentralization. Now they say the district should go and fight it. if we say,
but DCs themselves are involved. We know DCs who are involved in Galamsey fight.
I didn't say that.
We know DCs who are involved.
And
Even
they are
chiefs.
going to do the education.
We have seen how Otubo is the student chiefs who are involved in Galamsey.
Do education.
You have made up your mind.
No, we've not.
Understand your
We're
Let me
interrogating-
also speak.
we're
No,
interrogating your-
I've been listening to my own.
No, the same way I interrogate
Please. The fact that the DC is into Galamsey, if it's taxed that for the next 1 month, organize public education with NCCE in the communities about this and that, and a text is provided, it doesn't mean that the DC will not do it.
Okay.
The fact that it's got involved in it does not mean that if the political authority says we set up the next 1 month, every assembly is to go to each Galamsey community and undertake education in this form, it doesn't mean that the person won't do it. So the fact that the person is involved does not mean that what is being asked to do will not do it. So let's not drive away this concern of
I'm not
the person is in it, so he won't do it.
But I know someone who wanted to become an MP in a mining area.
Yes.
And his approach was educate the people to stop Galamsey.
Yes.
He lost miserably in that particular constituency. And you know what they told him? We are no person
that is the problem.
So the education has no weight.
No. Okay, that is your point. I am making my point. I'm saying that force has not worked anywhere in the world. It has proven to be a failure.
But it has achieved something.
Achieve what? I'm giving you countries that use force, and after 2 years, the thing is worse than they use the force.
But within the 2 years, they were able to achieve something.
And after that,
it was
happened?
about momentum. No, it was about the resources. And if they had deployed the resources and still had the momentum, I'm sure they would get
the resources than France, than Peru, than Brazil, than Ecuador, than Colombia, than Venezuela. You are telling me that Ghana? No, I'm asking a question.
The Peru,
I'm asking a question.
Peru is about 100,000 acres.
I am giving you.
The Galamsey size will not reach 100,000 acres.
I'm giving you. I am giving you examples that you are saying that Ghana is so resourced and has so much than all these countries that we have the resources. Please, let's be realistic in the things we say.
Side by side,
if
and then education.
Bigger countries with more resources have used the approaches we have used and it has failed. I'm not saying that force should not be used, but I'm saying that we should learn examples from what others have done. We ourselves have used the force and it has failed. We ourselves, we have used the force and it has failed.
Did it fail? We withdrew
miscalculation
them.
about it.
No, we withdrew
Now, what is
them.
miscalculation about it?
We withdrew them. The military
now let's use another force, which you shoot and kill, and that will work.
Please, why was the military withdrawn?
Because there were issues.
What are the issues?
It wasn't about logistics.
How were they withdrawn?
We had
compromise and all that.
Please.
Compromise
and all that. It wasn't about logistics.
So you have lost the argument already.
No,
there are very institutions that we should use. You said they are compromised. I'm asking you.
So deploy them.
No.
Deploy them with a different command.
Which command?
Shoot to kill.
Oh, yeah. Please, let me tell you. You see, it's about time we begin to rethink this fight against Galamsey. What we have done, and we should remember that using force didn't start from Akufo-Addo's time. Mahama started with force and it failed. And Akufo-Addo came and used force, it failed. So using force didn't start from Akufo-Addo's time. Nobody should deceive us. We shouldn't forget that Mahama also used force. Deploy soldiers, police, it failed. Akufo-Addo has come bring police, soldiers, it has failed. And you are still advocating deploy soldiers and police. Please, are you really thinking?
Then Elvis.
I want to ask you, are you really thinking?
Elvis, then let's give up.
That's what, we don't
then
give
let's
up.
give up.
See, this is the problem.
Let's all of us get our passport and leave this country.
I've learned something more in management. I didn't do management, but I just went to do a course. And the professor said, see, when a group of people take a decision and it fails, you don't involve the same people in reviewing their failed decisions to continue. Because whatever it is, they will think that if they admit that what they have done is failed, they will defend it. So he said in management, if a group of people have done something that's failed, let the different group of people do the review and come out with strategy.
So in this case, with government, who should do the review?
We should begin to think about, with all the strategy you have done that have failed, are there another group of people that we can bring on board to review what has been done and how we are going to do it?
If the highest of our security has failed,
yes,
which other agency again
That
can
is
we
the
do to
point.
review?
That is why I'm saying that if the TUC is issuing a statement, their statement are issued, excuse me to say, I don't see any value in it. They can go out and say, shut down the whole country to not stop Galamsey. They would rather destroy the economy further, and the Galamsey will continue. So they should really think what they are thinking about. I thought the TUC would say, we want to sit down, give us all that the previous committees have done. We want to set up a different crop of people. Maybe we want to bring some academics. We even want to bring maybe people from countries that have fought Galamsey. We TUC want to pay for it. They should come and review the effort we as a country have put in place. And then give us a another way of dealing with it, and let's see whether their own will work. But it is not.
They want you to declare a state of emergency
it has
first
failed.
to halt everything,
Please,
and then
please.
we start looking at the issues.
Nothing like that has worked because Akufo-Addo had declared state of emergency for 2 years and it did not work. So you are going to repeat another failed process. So what you ask for is, do we get experts outside Ghana from countries that have also done this? That they should come and review what we have done from Mahama to Akufo-Addo standard have all failed. And probably after reviewing it, because they are independent people from those who have done it and are not Ghanaians, probably they may give us other options. This is how we should be thinking. You do the same thing and you fail, you want to go and do the same thing. You cannot be doing the same thing and expect a different result. Don't we say that all the time?
The same
so
deployment,
if 2 years of banning all mining in this country for 2 years and it has failed, and you are saying that we should go ahead and ban again, you are just saying it's another failure.
But was it really banned?
On what basis?
When the ban was put in force, there were still
that is why you need a review. That is why you got to, see, when we name independent people outside those who did all this, come to do the review. I'm saying I didn't do management. But when I want to do that, because that's one lesson I've learned in life.
That's what you are come to this
no, I'm saying that is one thing I've learned in life. And I'm using it to live my life. That for me, when you say we deployed a Galamsey, the question is, if in the another group of people independently come to do the review, they may come up and say, okay, the 2 years ban that Akufo-Addo placed, these were the lapses, okay? And therefore, this is why it failed. But if we want to go back and fight Galamsey, probably if we use approach A, B, C, D, which will be their recommendation, it may work better.
Okay.
But here is the case, we are not putting independent people to review the failed decision. We are saying that the same government, the same security people you are telling me that have been compromised should be deployed again. You are just going to waste our money for nothing. Right. And we must not do that.
They can be deployed again with different commands.
Because the resources that have
they can be deployed again with different commands.
With the resources that we have put into Galamsey, it's unfortunate that it's a security issue, so they are not declaring the monies that we have put. Like, you realize that you're not even calling for Galamsey fight again in terms of ban. You first of all want to say, why don't we have independent people out of government, outside security services, give them all that the security services have found when they were doing it. The committee set up by the president, all their reports, give it to a different group of people, let them do their reviews, and let them come and say, oh, based on the experience of country A, B, C, D, based on what you have done, this is what led to failure. We think that if you want to fight Galamsey and fight it well, why we are recommending A, B, C, D, then we know that we are going for a complete different approach. But all the calls that have come so far are all calls about repeating our failure. And for me, it will be another failure.
Okay, I have to take a quick break. This is what the papers are saying. We're looking at the trending story for weeks now, fight against illegal mining stroke Galamsey. We'll be right back. It's what the papers are saying. My name is Vivian Kailoko. Thank you for staying with us. I'm here in the studio with Samiri Afi as well as Elvis Dako, trying to get solutions to the fight against illegal mining. And it appears the two gentlemen have taken entrenched positions, and so have many of us out there. Elvis believes we should continue with education, proper education.
My first
review.
Point
hang on. A review. I heard you clearly.
Let me tell
a review. Wait. A review of the
why
issues
we failed.
On what has been happening so far.
Review.
Elvis, I am the moderator here.
Okay.
I'll
wait for you to come.
I'll mute you.
Please, I'll wait for you to come.
Elvis believes we should do reviews of why we failed so far. Whilst we are doing that, we should educate those involved on the dangers involved. Samiri Afi believes we should trigger the shoot to kill of those who are involved in this because their actions are detrimental to us now and in the future. I'm going to give you 1 minute each to wrap up, and we'll move on to other things. Education, sir.
My point is simple. Anything that you do and it has failed, you need different independent people to review it, tell you why it has failed, and recommend what you can do to get it done better. If government and security agencies and all that we have employed have failed, they shouldn't be the same people that should review their field plan and say they are giving us another plan to work.
So who should the independent be in this
I
case?
am recommending that get experts for countries that have done this thing before. Okay?
We should bring in foreigners to come and tell us how to do our work.
Why are we... This is the problem. You talk about Boko Haram. Do you know what Nigeria has done with Boko Haram? They brought in specialists from various different countries in terms of intelligence to come and help them how they can fight Boko Haram. Okay, so you must understand that when you fail in an endeavor, the same people should not review their failure and give us another plan. It will still fail. So all the calls everybody has made so far is a failed call. Okay. Until we get independent people come to do the review. Probably they may recommend, I recommend that we need experts from other countries that have fought this thing before to come and review what we have done. Okay. And then tell us why we failed. And then give us recommendation that this is what you must do if you want to succeed based on your past failure, what we have seen. If you want to succeed, go about it. Then we are doing something new. But what we are being told to do now is a repetition of the same failure, and if we do it, we'll fail again. Okay. Until we do that review and get that recommendation, whatever we are going to do will be a repetition of our failure. So, and for me, it will be waste of money.
So the calls for state of emergency...
They are all going to be waste of money because we've done it before. When Akufo-Addo's 2 years, we went back and now we are here. Who has reviewed what happened at Akufo-Addo's 2 years emergency plan? Who has reviewed it? Which independent people reviewed that? The Galamsey fight that report man's Boateng and Kuhafe. He, the one who led the failure, has written a report. What will be that? People who are not part of it should sit and review.
But you should also write a report.
You yourself, who is pointing fingers at you yourself, these are your failures. But he has written blaming others. He has not said what he has done. And you think we can go and work with his report and get a report? You are a failure. We need complete people who have no role to play, who didn't plan the strategy, who didn't know what to be given all the documentation of what we have done so far. And say you are independent, you don't know how we decided to do this. These are the things we have done. Go and review it. Interview people. Ask them what they think went wrong. Write what went wrong and give us a recommendation. If we do that before we want to do an Galamsey fight, I will support it. So but anything we are going to do now will still fail because lessons have not been learned.
These independent people,
yes,
right, do the independent thing you are saying. Yes, you are breathing.
Yes, yes. No, I'm not breathing. I'm not breathing. No, it will pay me to go and spend another millions and millions of dollars for another failure, and that's what we are heading towards. That's what we are heading towards. Another fail.
Cool down for Jesus. Cool down for Jesus.
Pardon me, viewers. So if these independent people do the what you call it, an independent analysis, and they realize that I mean our security services were compromised and all that. So we need to get a security team that this time around will be difficult for them to be compromised. And they also believe that before we continue, we still need to declare the state of emergency. Would you
that
agree
will be
to that?
A recommendation that is evidence-based. Probably they may tell you that your security people will all be compromised. Probably get experts from other countries to come and lead the fight. Probably they may tell that if you believe that the pastors and the TUC people who are making the call believe that they cannot be compromised, then maybe they should lead it and let's see. They will come out with far-reaching recommendations that will set aside all the security may be there, but somebody else who is not part of security may be the head leading the operation. He may not be a Ghanaian. He may be a Sofo. He may be a TUC leader who think that I cannot be corrupted, so I want to lead. You see, this is how other serious countries solve their problems. They don't go and fail and give the same people who have failed to review their decision and say, we want to do something. That is a waste of money. I'm telling you that if they were want to declare the amount of money you have spent in the fight against Galamsey, you would have said that then we shouldn't have even wasted our money. And they want to go and waste similar sums of money into something that has not been reviewed by independent people, the same people who failed, including the president who put up the team. We don't have any independent report from a complete independent group who didn't play any role in the decision making. And we say we are going to fight Galamsey again. And the TUC and all people are just using that emotional reaction. I read all the statements and nobody is making any serious recommendation that those who even fail should not lead the next Galamsey fight. They are not even saying that they have even investigated the failure. What is the report? I think TUC and Co should be demanding from government that have you done even any autopsy about why you failed? And we want to see the report should be public so that we all discuss it. Nobody's talking about all these things. Somebody say, go and put money to another Galamsey fight. The money should be there for us to do our roles. Else we'll go and waste it. Get an independent team of people. Do the review. Give us recommendation. Then we can look at the recommendation. Okay, this one may work. Let's do it. So until we have that report, Government should not put their peso in a Galamsey fight because it will be another waste of money.
Okay. Sammy,
I still maintain my position, Vivian, and I still stand by it. I'll defend it any day, any time. We have tried several methods. It didn't work out. I believe adopting the shoot to kill method will give us the results that we want. We've seen it in other countries. Nigeria, to be precise, Boko Haram, we don't hear of Boko Haram again. Even if we hear of it, it's on a small scale. We've seen how the Nigerian government has succeeded in doing it. They adopted the shoot to kill method. Now, look at the results we are seeing in Nigeria. It's the same thing. Boko Haram in Nigeria, Galamsey in Ghana, and it's one thing. They are killing people. They are compromising our water bodies and the rest. So I still stand by my position. Let's adopt the shoot to kill system, and we'll be able to fight Galamsey. I have said in the newsroom that any government that comes after 2024 will not be able to solve Galamsey if we don't take the bull by the horn. If Baumia becomes president, we'll still have Galamsey in this country. If John Mahama becomes president, we'll have Galamsey. If Cheddar becomes president, we'll have Galamsey. If Alan Chamati becomes president, we'll still have Galamsey in this country. The best way, the best method to solve Galamsey, adopt the shoot to kill method. Deploy the Ghana Armed Forces, the Special Force Unit, into our forests. Let them kill these people who are doing this thing because they are killing us. They are killing us, polluting our water bodies. Ghana Water Company says if care is not taken, now the number of, I don't know, they use some term, the number of drums or whatever they use is reducing. And we are told that there is a turbidity of the water.
Turbidity,
is getting worried now. So should we sit down 5 years, 10 years, and there will be no water, we import water? And Vivian, what is even worrying? I joined the president to travel to Ivory Coast with the Ivorian president. And in their discussion, the issue of Galamsey came up, how the water bodies we are destroying here in Ghana is having an effect of this in their country.
But please, Ivory Coast also has Galamsey. We are not the only people. Please, the Ivory Coast are also doing serious Galamsey.
But theirs is managed, isn't it?
Yes, it's managed.
Saying that they shouldn't blame us alone because they are also doing Galamsey.
And the sad
Theirs is not as worse as ours, isn't it?
And Vivian,
that's what
and
you
even
say.
the sad aspect is that
we will know if it's
I saw how the Ivorian president was upset with this particular practice. And we know how Galamsey is affecting cocoa production. Cocoa farms are being cut down left, right, center for the land to be used for Galamsey. Cocoa, which is our biggest export, our biggest earning, we are sacrificing it for the greed and selfishness of some few people who want to kill us for them to survive. Galamsey is money, we agree, and money is blood. But you can't sacrifice our blood for your blood. No, we won't sit down and let it happen like that. We won't sit down.
Let me take some comments coming in from our viewers. This one says, good evening. I agree with Samiri. A shoot to kill is the best solution. This one says, Vivian, my name is Na. I more than agree with Samiri on the shoot to kill policy. How do we ban an illegality? Those soldiers should be on the ground. You see, drones should be used like they did with Bin Laden. We are creating gangs and cartels. We are playing with fire. This one says, Elvis Darko has a point. Brilliant submission. Surprisingly, the person believes I find it funny what you're saying. I don't find it funny. I was worried the way he was breathing because he was being too. You could see he was getting.
The matter chop hot.
Yes, so that's why. But I'm not laughing at this submission. Far from that. This one says, "Good evening, local. I'm a military officer, and I was part of those who were deployed for Operation Vanguard. The problem is the politicians. They tied their hands and they were given instructions. If the president gave us the freedom to operate, I bet you it won't take the military 1 month to end this menace." This one says, the man in your studio is making contradictory statements. There should be rapid measures. They must let the miners create their own dams, and an inspectorate will confirm your source of water and all legality has been met before they grant them a license. This one says, good evening, madam. Please, I'm Stephen from Takwa. I want to share my views on the Galamsey issue. The man in your studio probably has a mining concession somewhere. You can't be making this allegation. This is a matter of urgency. You are talking about education. Okay, this one says, good evening, Madam Vivian, Mr. Sami, and other Pal Elvis. It is concerning that Ghana's Minister of Lands and Natural Resources dismisses calls for a state of emergency on Galamsey as draconian. Illegal mining severe impact on farmlands, health, water resources, and food supplies demand urgent and decisive action. Dismissing such measures as extreme undermines the looming environmental and health crisis. Prioritizing short-term gains over long-term sustainability is detrimental to Ghana's future. Hashtag end Galamsey now. This one says, hi Vivian, please, Samiri Afi shoot and kill. People are jobless. Banning calls is unfortunate. This election year, we need peace. So the person disagrees with you. This one says, education is not needed, please. And please, they are aware about the dangers. Are they not in Accra? Series of education about dumping refuse around, but still, we have choked gutters in Accra, please. And then this one says, the review is best, but that is if we truly believe Professor Frimpong Boateng. It's top guns making money. And this also says using force is also good because of the deteriorating nature of our water. My simple advice, arrest the people and feed them with the contaminated water. Thank you. So very divided.
People have different opinions about it, yeah.
Also, it's a tough one, and Elvis,
Please,
a viewer thinks I'm laughing, but I'm not.
I don't have any concern, but I'm saying that you cannot fail and be the same person reviewing your failed decisions and deciding that you want to do something else. It is a disaster.
Okay.
The best thing is get independent people to do the review. You talk about Boko Haram. Boko Haram, Nigerian government is not leading Boko Haram. CIA.
But at least there's success.
No, there's no success.
There's success.
The MI6, look,
There's success.
Global bodies have donated human beings with intelligence who are leading Nigerian army
they are succeeding.
to fight.
Gentlemen,
So if Galamsey fights, we need to bring in experts, from around the world, to come and lead the fight and guide and direct.
Our time is
for
up.
us to win, that will make sense.
And Vivian,
but any fight of Galamsey without an independent review, it's a disaster. It's just a repeat of the failure.
Check oil production in Nigeria when they started this war against Boko Haram. It has increased. At first, Boko Haram will go and bust some pipeline in Delta State. Now, do we hear of it again? Because of the shoot-to-kill method. Okay. Now, oil production in Nigeria has increased by over 50 to 100%.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Samiri Afi and Elvis Darko. Strong views and entrenched views. Sami Darko. Elvis Darko, I'm a managing editor of News Center. Samiri Afi here with us at ChannelOne TV as well as City FM. Thank you very much. The fight continues on illegal mining. Still wrong wherever you stand. Please, if you're involved, stop it. My name is Vivian Kai. Look, we'll see you again. Goodbye.